and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you to get into my Paycheck 1 closeout and Paycheck 2 setup. So my husband got paid this morning and I know exactly how much he got paid, which was nice, which is part of Paycheck 2. But we need to close out Paycheck 1, run all the numbers so I know how much was sitting in the checking account the night before my husband got paid his salary paycheck here, and put that number there so we have an accurate number for the checking account in my budget. So that's where we're at right now. And what we're going to do is total all this up, find out how much income actually came in for the month. So it's not a lot higher here, but it's something. And then what we spent here, this went up. I did print more pages than the 100 and just added $1 to what I spent, which is fine. It's still not enough to put me into the next tier. I think next month I'm going to go ahead and budget the $847. I've been consistent with that for several months. So going forward, I'm going to keep doing that. Unless I actually hit like $11, $12 and that's going to be regular, then I would do the next tier of HP Instant Ink. Everything else is the same. I knew what the water bill was when we first got the set up the budget, and this went down. TRICARE went down. I've explained that a little bit here in a minute. Let's see, anything else change? I think everything was status quo. So the TRICARE bill went down because it was the first month that TRICARE charged us outside of prepaying for 2 months, and because my son's birthday is on the 9th, they prorated a few days. That was part of the previous health insurance, and now the new health insurance picked up on the 9th, and he's covered, and so we didn't have to pay for the first 9 days or something like that. So it gave us a little extra wiggle room in the budget, but going forward it's going to not have any changes, so we should be all caught up in all the changes for the TRICARE young adult that my son has for health insurance. So now let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to close out Paycheck 1. So I'm going to close my notebook here. Let's go ahead and start at the top here with the income section and total up the numbers. I had $2,004.38 for our military retirement. That is our new number. If you're used to the older number that we had was like $1,900 when my son dropped off our health insurance, which my husband's military retirement health insurance comes out of his military retirement check. It was just the easiest way to do it. When he was no longer under the family plan, it changed how much. It definitely changed the dental and things like that. So this is the new number, obviously going up, but we did get a little bit of change there in the health insurance. VA disability was $2,489.96. If you know, you know. My husband's a disabled vet, but he can still work, and this is the compensation from 20 years of active duty service. The next I have is rent and dividends. So my oldest son, who gets SSI, he's autistic. Both my sons are. He pays rent out of his SSI, and that is $827. And then I always put on whatever dividends hit the checking account, and it's always 2 or 3 pennies. So it's 2 cents this month. And then the salary was $1,737.95 for my husband's position. And then I balanced forward from last month in the month of July to the month of August, 69 cents. There we go. So it gave us an even. I had to do a double take on that. I'm like, the numbers never come out this even before. $7,060. Had to think about how to say that. So really, we got 71 cents was gained. Just enough to make it even. There we go. Now let's go ahead and go down to the expenses. So I'm just going to total these up. I've already explained the ups and downs, and it should be close to this number. We'll see. So I'm going to total these numbers. I'll be right back. All right, I have $4,000 $807.87, and that is just because this had dropped because it was prorated for the month, that first full month. Now we're going to move on to the expenses over here. Now these are variable or what I forgot to put down expenses, and I did have one I forgot to put down. I counted my August Dr. Odell, which is my chiropractor, 4 weeks, and didn't include this, and I don't know why. I always go on Wednesdays, except for here I'm going to go on Monday. But yeah, I don't know what happened, why I forgot it was going to be a 5-week Wednesday month, and I forgot the $45. So we're going to have to include that on this side. But I am going to go ahead and write down real quick all the different totals for all 6 of these categories. So I'll be totaling up all the weekly check-ins. So I always try to remind you guys that where I get the totals for my expenses here are from my weekly check-in, and I take the spent category and I'll just do the one like usual, and it's $644.35 plus the $271.50, and that was $915.85. So that would be what I would write down here as far as paycheck one, because paycheck one is always the week 1 and week 2 of the weekly check-in. So we'll start with that number and then work our way down, and we'll find out how much total we had balanced forward from paycheck 1 to paycheck 2. Okay, now that I have all my totals here, you can see that I was way over budget here, a little over budget here by $11.64. I was right on target for miscellaneous, and I was under for gas. We only had one gas purchase, and I was under for copay. And then I forgot a bill. So that just lowered how much I could potentially pay to the credit card for debt payments. And that's all that. Luckily, I had the money to pay for it. So it's not an issue of not being able to pay for it. It's just an issue of not being able to pay down the debt as much as I hoped. So that's okay. I will get through this. I will survive. It's not a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and total up the actual column here for what we actually spent. Okay, we spent $1,409.41. There we go. Now I'm going to take my $7,060 minus the $7.87 and minus the $1,409.41. That leaves a total of $842.72, and we are perfect right here. So we were very close. We're a little bit above this, which is good. It's always good to have more than you planned to balance forward to the next paycheck. So this is what I'm going to put here under the budget column, $842.72. Oh, that was a little crooked. Oh well. Let me see if I can fix this. My husband's salary check this time was $1,736.24. That's what he actually brought in. And these numbers are not going to change. And then I'm going to put 0 for other, not 8. $0 for other because I don't plan on anything coming in. If something does, I have a place to put it. And I'll put it here in the actual column when it happens. So I'm going to take this number, I'm going to add the $1,736.24. So we are working with $2,578.96 for the rest of the month. And that will cover all the bills and all the spending. So I want to know how much in bills I have so I know how much is left in spending, and we'll go from there. Okay, right now we're budgeting $100 for tithe. We do tithe to Greater Europe Mission, which happens on the first of the month, which is $256.75 plus $100 tip to plus $100 tithe to our church each salary check. I hope to bring that back up to $200 per salary check after the debt's paid off, but right now I needed to have flexible room in the budget to pay off the debt. And yeah, so I'm just thanking God that we have money to actually budget and we are able to do, even if we're not able to tithe as much as we want to, we still are tithing. And I'm very thankful for that. And God has blessed us all the way through this. It's been amazing. It's one of those things that the personal story you can have in your relationship, and tithing with God is just unbelievable. It's just so amazing. So, but I won't go on and on with that. Next thing I have is our AT&T bill. We're in August, September, October. In a couple months, hopefully everything goes well, and 2 of our cell phones will not have leases on them. Mine has a lease on it, and our son's, theirs should drop. So it should go down $60, I think, is what we're doing. Or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to look at the bill again. But yeah, I'm excited to see that bill go down. So that gives us some flexibility going forward. Unless my husband decides to buy a new phone, which he might need to because his is a lot older than ours. And I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, AT&T, $314. I'm sorry, $12.24. Best part of having a budget and actual column, even for the bill section, even though they're fixed expenses, they do fluctuate a little bit, and mine do every month. Usually utilities are the ones that flex the most. But your AT&T bill, your subscriptions, your other things, they can go up a little bit or down a little bit, and you won't realize it until like it happens. Even if this budgeting number is wrong by a little bit, it's not so bad because, we still have an actual column that we can actually figure out where we are in our bank account. So next I have is our sinking funds. What I do is I put this in a savings account, and usually once a month, 1 or 2 things will come out. This is $412.05. This month is supposed to be Orkin, but they haven't gotten in touch with me yet, and I have a scheduled quarterly Orkin thing. So hopefully next week or so we'll have something come up. If not, maybe it's next month and I was just wrong. And that's okay. The money will still be sitting there. Life insurance. This is our family life insurance, including our youngest son, who's 21. $87.56. When my oldest turned 25, he aged out, and I got him a policy, and that was $33.16. Electric was $167.52. And then USCCA is my husband's bill, so that's $43.18. My Apple storage is $2.99. Vivint is our home security system. This is just the monitoring. We own the equipment already. $65.82. And debt to the credit card, debt payment. So I have made a payment. I decided to do this today so that I don't spend the money. So I moved over $155 to go towards the debt today. If I make another debt payment at the end of the month for like $20 or whatever the debt, depending on how much is left over at the end of the month, if there's anything, $20, $25, I will put it over here. But for right now, I'm not going to write anything in. I'm just going to wait for it to happen. If not, I know at least I've put $155 towards the debt this month, and I am very pleased with that. My Dr. Odell appointments are $45. And he's helping me with one of my legs that's really, if I stand long enough, my upper thigh gets numb and it's pinching a nerve. So we're working that out. Now over here, whatever's left in our spending categories, that is what I put over here. So if I take what I spent at the beginning, paycheck 1, and subtract it out, this tells me what is left for the rest of the month. So we have $514.15. And also, if I just look at my weekly check-in and whatever this balance is here, that's exactly the same number right there. So that's all I'm really transferring over to my Paycheck 2 budget. So restaurants, I have $188.36. Miscellaneous, I have $76.70. Gasoline is $162.44. Copay is $68.94. Those are for prescriptions or doctor's appointments. I think there's one, yeah, my sons have doctor's appointments next month, and one of them has a copay. So I will be using that next month for a doctor's appointment. Unbudgeted is always zero. I don't plan for it, and that's just a line item to account for the buffer, the checking account, and I'm hoping to take that buffer and put it into a debt payment. So we'll see. And I've got planned $70 for our supplements on our Amazon Subscribe and Save, and that will happen later this month. So that is that. Now I'm ready to go ahead and total up the budgeting column for the expenses. We're going to start with the fixed expenses on this side, and then I'll do the variable expenses over here. Okay, we have $1,469.52. That is what we have here for our fixed expenses. Now let's look at our variable and the Amazon Subscribe and Save over here. All right, we have $1,080.59 here. So let's go ahead and do all of this, taking the income minus both expense columns and coming up with an estimated end of the month balance. So this is the buffer of the checking account. This is what the final debt payment could be. Whatever you want to call it, this is just the math of what's the reality is in the checking account. So I have $2,578.96 starting today when the paycheck come in, and then we're going to subtract out $1,469.52, and then we're going to subtract out $1,080.59. That leaves us $28.85. I'm happy with that. I think having a little bit of buffer in the checking account is going to be great. It's $28.85. It's not a lot, but it's not anything I would spend. I'm hoping about 25 of it or more, or the whole thing will go to the credit card as part of a payment to the debt and lower that just a little bit more above the $155 that I already did this paycheck period. So I'm excited about that potential, and hopefully I can keep it reined in to $500 a week on the spending with the eating out and the groceries, and making sure I have enough gas for our vehicles and stuff like that. And I know there's going to be some prescriptions probably later this month for one of my sons, so we'll see what happens there. It just depends on if they gave him a 30-day supply or 3-month. Some of his prescriptions he can have that, some he can't. And so yeah, there's just a lot of things to think things through before you get through the rest of the month. And here we are on the 15th, and I think everything looks good. And I'm happy with the results that we have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a